Hello everyone. Once again, this is Vartika and I am right back with another video on dictionary. In this video, we are going to discuss about the various functions related to dictionary. In the previous video, we have already covered what is a dictionary, how we can work with the dictionary. Now I'll be explaining what are the various types of functions associated with the dictionary. So, moving on with the dictionary functions. See, the dictionary in Python provides a number of functions. There are various types of functions that can be used with dictionary. They are len, clear, copy, get, items, keys, values, pop, pop item, set default, update, sorted, min, max, and sum. Now starting with the very first function, that is your len function. Now this function, see this len function is not a function of dictionary, but it works with dictionary also. You have studied about this function with strings also, with list also, right? Now this function works with dictionary also. In case of dictionary, it counts the total number of key value pairs in the dictionary, right? And how do we use it? We simply write variable name which will store the counting is equal to len, and then within bracket we write the dictionary object name. Let's take an example. If suppose D is my dictionary which is containing A10, B20, C30, D40, and when I have applied len function to this dictionary, I have written print len D. So how many pairs are there? One pair is A10, second pair is B20, third pair is C30, and fourth pair is D40. So the answer of this len function will be 4. So this is how len function works with dictionary. Now moving on to another function. The next function is your clear function. Now as the name suggests, this function is used to remove the entire content of the dictionary. But remember, this is not going to delete the dictionary object. This will only remove the content of the dictionary object. That means all the key value pairs in the dictionary. And how do we write it? The syntax is dictionary object name dot clear. Let us understand it with the help of an example. Here again I have taken a dictionary object D which is storing the same set of values, key value pairs, and when I have written D dot clear, after that when I have printed the value of D, you see it is going to print blank curly braces. Okay, that means all the content of the dictionary are removed. Now before we move on to the function copy, let us first understand the difference between a shallow copy and a deep copy. We will be using copy function right now, but before that let us understand what is the difference between shallow copy and deep copy. First of all, let us understand when in Python we use the assignment operator, that means equal to operator, and we assign one dictionary object to another dictionary object. It does not create a copy of the dictionary object. It simply creates a variable, another dictionary object referring to the same dictionary. See, if I have written this D is equal to and I have assigned a dictionary. Now how it is represented in memory? It is represented something like this. These are the keys and these are its values. It is referenced by the variable D. Now I have written another statement. D1 is equal to D. Now what will happen? It is not going to create another dictionary, but simply it is going to create a variable D1 in memory that is going to refer to the same dictionary. Okay, so this is how it works. This is how the assignment operator works in Python. But many times it is required, we want to create a copy, because what will happen in this case? See, if I have modified the value of this dictionary D, or you can say I have modified the content of this dictionary through the variable D. I have written DE is equal to 50. That means I am trying to add a new key value pair to this existing dictionary. And when I have displayed the value of D, see, the value of E is inserted over here. When I display the value of D1 now, see, D1 is also reflecting the changes. D1 is also D1 has also inserted a key value pair E50. Why this is so? Because D and D1 are referring to the same location, to the same dictionary. But many times what we want is, we want that a separate copy of the dictionary should be created, so that if we make any changes in one copy, it is not reflected in the other copy. Or we can say that we do not want to change the actual copy. So to accomplish this task, we have two ways of creating copies. One is your shallow copy and another is your deep copy. Now let us see what is a shallow copy and what is a deep copy. See, a shallow copy is one in which we simply make a copy, a duplicate copy of the keys of the dictionary. But the values are not duplicated, they are stored at one single place. As you can see, this is the dictionary, these are the keys and these are the values. When I have made the copy of D as D1, so D1 is having a separate copy of the keys, but it is having the same copy of values. This is your shallow copy. This is how shallow copy works, right? Now when we talk about the deep copy, now in deep copy, if I make a copy of this dictionary, see, the keys are also copied and the corresponding values are also copied. So in this case, if we make any changes over here, nothing will be reflected over here. Okay. Now coming up to the function copy. See, the copy function of the dictionary, it helps you to create the shallow copy of the dictionary. Shallow copy, as we have discussed, only the keys are duplicated and the same values are referenced by two objects, right? Now here you have to remember one thing, that if the dictionary whose shallow copy is being created, if that dictionary contains immutable values, if the values of such a dictionary are immutable, then the changes that we make in one copy are not reflected in the other copy. But if the values are mutable, then the changes made in one copy will be reflected in the other copy. So in shallow copy, we have to remember that the changes done in the immutable values will not be reflected in other copy, but the changes in the mutable values will be reflected in the other copy. Let us understand. See how we create a shallow copy. This is a new dictionary object. That is the copy of the dictionary object is equal to existing dictionary object dot copy. Right? Let us understand with the help of an example. See, first time I am taking a dictionary which is containing immutable values. See, this is the dictionary D. It is containing 10, 20, 30, 40. All these four values are immutable. We have already studied that the numbers are the immutable data type. So now in the next step, I have created a copy of this dictionary. So I have written d.copy and assigned it to the variable d1. So d1 is a shallow copy of d. Now when I have modified d, b is equal to 55. That means I have modified the value of the key 50. Current value is 20. Now I have changed it to 55. So when I display the value of d, see, the value of b is changed from 20 to 55, where in the original copy. In the next copy, if I display d1, see d1, the changes are not reflected. Why? Because this value is immutable. Okay. See another example. I have added a new key value pair to the dictionary, right, to the main copy. And when I have displayed it, see, the value is, the key value pair is inserted over here. But when I have displayed D1, now this value is not added. This pair is not added to the dictionary. The only reason is that the values are immutable. Okay. Now if the dictionary contains mutable values, see this is a DX dictionary. It is containing this 1020, a list. List is considered to be mutable. This is another list 3040 and this is another list 5060. So when I have created a shallow copy dy of this DX dictionary, I have written dy is equal to dx dot copy. Now I have written dx p1 dot append 45. That means in the key p1 I am adding one more value. It is having, till now it is having two values, right? 1020 as a list. Now in this list I am appending one more value, that is 45. Now when I display dx, see p1 value has inserted a new value in the list. Now when I display the value dy, see dy is also containing this newly inserted value. The reason is that the value is immutable. Okay. Now if I want to create a deep copy, till now we have seen how to create a shallow copy. Now if I have to create a deep copy so that the changes done in one copy are not at all reflected in another copy, whether it is a mutable value or immutable value. So in that case we have to use a module named copy. So first of all we have to import that module in our program. Then we are going to write copy, that is the name of the module, dot deep copy, and within parenthesis we are going to write the name of the dictionary whose deep copy has to be created, and this is assigned to a new dictionary object. Okay. Now let's see the example. First of all, a module is imported. Then I have written D is equal to A10, B20, C30, D40. And I have created a deep copy. D1 is equal to copy dot deep copy D. The deep copy of D is created in D1. When I have displayed D1, see this is the original value, and then I have modified DC. I have modified the value of C key and made it as 77. So the resultant is, you can see C is modified. But when I have displayed D1, the changes are not reflected over here. Why? Because we have created a deep copy. This is another example. Here I have taken the same list, DX list, which is containing the mutable values. And I have created a deep copy of this DX dictionary by the name DY. When I have added a new value 99 to the key P1, so DX has incorporated the changes, 99 is inserted, but when we have displayed DY, see the changes are not reflected, right? Because here a deep copy is created, so changes made in one copy are not reflected in another copy. This is another function get. This function returns the value of the item that whose key we specify. To this function we provide a key, and this function is going to return the value of that particular key. But if the key is not existing, it will flash you an error. So in order to avoid that error, there is a second argument specified with the get function, and that is your default argument. See, what is the syntax? Variable will contain the value of the key that is provided, is equal to dictionary object dot get, and within parenthesis first of all we are going to specify the key whose value is to be extracted, and second argument, default argument, this specifies the message which you want to be displayed if the key is not existing. Because if you do not provide this argument, it will flash you an error in case the key is not existing. So you can provide your own message. Let's take an example. This is a dictionary D, and I have written print d dot get c. So now what it is going to do? It is going to display the value of the key C, 30. Right? Now when I have written d dot get x comma not existing. Now x key I have provided. Since the x key is not existing, so it will display this message. Okay. Moving on to the next function, that is your items function. Now this function is used to provide all the items in the dictionary in the form of a sequence of key value tuples. So it is going to provide you a list which contain tuples of key value pairs. For example, the syntax is variable is equal to dictionary object dot items. Let us understand with the help of an example. This is the dictionary. When I have written print d dot items. So how it is going to display? See, it has created a list, and that list is containing tuples of key value pairs. This is the first pair, A10. It is shown in the form of a tuple. This is the second pair, C30. It is again shown in the form of a tuple, and so on. Right? Now, if you want to extract individual tuple, you can utilize a loop also. See, if I have written for I in d dot items. Now, d dot item is going to provide you a sequence, that is a list of tuples. Now, I will extract one tuple each time when this loop will work. So, the number of loops will be, number of iterations of the loop will be equal to the number of tuples in the list. Now, if I display each tuple, see, this is how it is going to be displayed. If you want to extract individual element of the tuple in different variable, then also you can utilize a loop in the similar way. I have written for k comma v in d dot items. Since this function is providing me a tuple containing two values, one is a key and another is a value. Therefore, I have provided two variables over here in the for function, for loop. And when I display the value of k and v, see, these values a, b, c, d are provided by the variable k, and these 10, 30, 20, 40 are provided by the value, by the variable v. Right? Now moving on to the another function, that is your keys. Now this function, as the name suggests, it will simply provide you a list of all the keys existing in the dictionary. How do we write? Variable, this will contain the list of all the keys, is equal to dictionary object dot keys. See, this is your dictionary, and when I have written x is equal to d dot keys, what will be the value of x? You can see A, C, B, D. These are the various keys. And just remember one thing, since dictionary is an unordered list, therefore the order of key value pair might be different from the one that you have inserted. Another function, values. Now this function is again similar to the function keys. Keys function was extracting all the keys of the dictionary. Now this function is going to extract all the values from the dictionary in the similar way, in the form of a list. So syntax is variable is equal to dictionary object dot values. The example is, this is the same dictionary, and when I have written y is equal to d dot values and printed the value of y, see, this is how the values are displayed. So with this, we come to the end of this video. In this video, we have covered some of the functions of dictionary. The rest of the functions we are going to cover in our next video. So do subscribe my channel so that you get to know when I release my next video. Thank you.